Hey, what's up everybody? Hammerheart Metal Reviews here once again. I am back. It has been a very long time since I've recorded any videos. I was away on vacation. I wish I was still on vacation, but I am back and I'm happy to be recapping my favorite albums that were released this past month, June 2024. As usual, and especially this month, I really want to get your recommendations, your picks for your favorite albums this month. I'm sure with being away for a few weeks that there's gonna be some albums that I just didn't discover. I didn't do as in-depth of like a deep dive in scouring the internet for all the albums this month. I kind of just had a list of about 30 albums that I had on like a checklist that I wanted to listen to. So I went through those albums. I'm gonna tell you about my favorite ones, but I'm sure there's some underground ones that just went under my radar. So please give me your picks. Let me know which other ones I need to go check out. Usually with these lists, I do about 20 albums. That's just a random number that I kind of shoot for every month. I'm not going to have 20 this month. I've got, I don't know, 17 maybe, somewhere around there, 16, 17. I didn't really fully list them by number. But yeah, just not as much this month, it being the summer months. There's not as much metal coming out, but also I just didn't listen to as many albums, and I'm not going to name 20 just for the sake of naming 20. I'm only going to talk about albums that I actually want to talk about. I will say, doing this video a little bit later than usual, I have already checked out some albums from July, which would surely be near the top of this list. There's been some killer albums coming out in the early part of July already, but I'm not going to be including those here today. I'll be talking about those at the end of the month. But without further ado, I've been rambling on long enough. Let's just get into this. Let's talk about my favorite albums that were released. That's what you're here for. You're not here to listen to me talk about my vacation or anything. I'm still in vacation mode. But yeah, this is not a travel vlog. You come here for heavy metal. Let's get it going. Okay, kicking it off. Going with Wraith with their album Fueled by Fear. So this is some Black and Speed thrash metal. It's got a little bit of a punky vibe as well. These guys are from the USA. This album's just a ton of fun. Just full of rippers, just thrashy goodness throughout the whole album. It's just sure to put a smile on your face. Maybe nothing to take too seriously, but just a good, fun, thrashy time. Go check out Wraith. Up next, I'm going with a band that's actually from my hometown of Winnipeg, and that is Primordial Serpent with a new album, Triumphant Son of Darkness. So this is a one-man black metal project, like I said, from Winnipeg up here in Canada. I've met this guy a few times. He's a really cool guy, and he is very prolific at putting out albums. I swear, like every 6 months, he's got a new album coming out. I don't know how he keeps up with that pace, but every time an album comes out, it's very consistently good, and this one is no exception. Definitely go check out Primordial Serpent. Go check out all the albums. There's a lot, but yeah, very quality black metal. Give it a listen. Up next, maybe going to be a shocker that it's this low down on my list, but I'm going with Alcest with the new album Les Chants de l'Aurore. I cannot speak French, so that is a terrible pronunciation, but I did my best. So at this point in Alcest's career, you know what you're getting. There's not really too much black metal left in the sound. There's still some elements here and there. This is just shoegaze, post-black metal, whatever you want to call it. It's very soothing and calming music. Nage just really has developed his own style. Like, as soon as you put it on, you know exactly what you're in store for. I definitely prefer the earlier Alcest material to the later day stuff. I do find this album to be a little bit predictable and maybe even a little boring. I hate to say that. Like, it's still very well done. The atmosphere sucks you in. And if you've been a fan of the last few albums, you're surely going to love this one as well. But for me, well, I like it. I wouldn't say that I love it. So it's not one you're going to see on any of my year-end lists or anything like that. But it's still decent and it's still worth checking out. Up next, going with some more Canadian content with Boreal Throne and their debut album, Song of the Earth. This is another one-man project. This is some melodic black metal from Nova Scotia. The man behind the band, Morgan Ryder, has been in numerous projects such as like Vesperia, Crimson Shadows. He used to play live with Cigar Tear. He's been all over the place. But yeah, this is his solo project. And it's just a really cool black metal album. Definitely go give it a listen. It's a digital-only release, at least so far, to my knowledge. But yeah, really great stuff. Boreal Throne. Up next, a legendary band, Limbonic Art, with the new album, Opus Daemoniacal. I can't even read my own writing, but I think that's what it was called. But yeah, symphonic black metal legends from Norway. At this point, it's a one-man band. When I say symphonic black metal, this isn't nearly as heavy on the symphonics as maybe their classics were, like Moon in the Scorpio. This still has some elements of that, but this is more of just a straightforward black metal record. It's very solid overall. I will say it's not necessarily like super standout over the course of their discography. I don't think this would be one that's going to be hailed as an all-time classic necessarily, but it's very enjoyable. Not really too much negative to say. It's just a very solid, straight, in-your-face black metal record, Limbonic Art style. Give it a listen. Sticking with black metal, I'm going with Kvaen and new album, The Formless Spires. This is another one-man band, this time from Sweden. This is some more melodic black metal. This is now his third album, and it's really well done. Great riffs. I will say, at this point, after 3 albums, it's kind of not really changing anything up, just sticking with the same formula. I mean, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But nonetheless, I wouldn't mind a little bit more experimentation or maybe a few more chances being taken here. It's another one that I kind of feel is a pretty predictable album. It's still definitely worth listening to for the riffs alone. And if you just like very well produced, clean, melodic black metal, you will surely enjoy this album. All right, let's switch it up. Next is Altar of Oblivion within the Cesspit of Divine Decay. So this is some epic doom metal from Denmark. I absolutely love this style of epic doom. It's just so grandiose and like sweeping atmosphere, and it's really well done. You got the soaring vocals, just stuff that you're gonna be pumping your fist along to, singing along to, and it's just, yeah, epic doom. Amazing stuff. Altar of Oblivion. Let's switch it up once again with some death metal with Severe Torture, the new album Torn from the Jaws of Death. So this is some old school, no frills, in your face, just crushing death metal. I dig this style of death metal a lot. This is just a headbanger of an album from start to finish. You will just be moving your head. Like, try not to headbang to this. That would be just impossible. It is just a solid, solid death metal release. I almost put this one even higher on my list. It just missed out on the top 10. But this whole list, especially this month more than any other month, take these rankings with a grain of salt because I have not spent as much time as I would have liked with most of these albums because I was away. But nonetheless, solid death metal album. Go listen to Severe Torture. Now we're into the top 10, my 10 favorite albums that were released the month of June. Kicking it off in 10th, I'm going with Inherits the Void with their new album Scars of Yesteryears. Another one-man black metal project. There's a lot of those this month, this time from France. I really dug his last album that was from a couple years ago, and this one really builds on that foundation and just keeps expanding the sound. And this is just another one that's full of great riffs. It's just going to suck you into its atmosphere. There's melodic parts, there's atmospheric parts. Just all in all, a very solid black metal release. If you have not heard Inherits the Void, change that right now. Go check out all the past albums as well. This is the 3rd full length, I believe. But yeah, Scars of Yesteryears, solid album. Up next in 9th, sticking with black metal, going with Gjendod and the new album Livskramper. Probably mispronouncing all of that, so I apologize. This is some folky black metal from Norway. I just love the vibe and the energy on this album. It's a style of black metal that I really enjoy when you bring in those folky elements, and it's just got this like bouncy energy to it almost, while still retaining enough rawness that I love it. And it's just a really well done album. Another band where I really dug their last album, and this one has switched it up a little bit, but it's still just a really solid album. Gjendod. Give it a listen. All right, we're sticking with black metal. There's a lot of black metal this month. That's usually what my lists are full of. But yeah, keep that black metal train rolling. Up next in 8th, going with Sear Bliss, a new album, Heavenly Down. This is a legendary Hungarian atmospheric black metal band. They've been around a really long time, mostly well known for always incorporating in like their backing brass section. Like they have a trombone, they have baritone, and it just really gives it this unique flair while still just enveloping you within the atmospheric black metal. Like it's very unique and just really well done. They've got their signature style here with those horns and the brass section in top. and it just envelops you with its soundscapes. A really solid black metal release. I've been saying that a lot, but there's a lot of good black metal this month, and Sear Bliss is one of those albums, so don't miss out on it. Give it a listen if you have not yet. All right, up next, going with Thanatotherion and their album Alien Manifesto. So this band features one of the dudes from Ulthar, but instead of the Ulthar style of like dissonant death metal, this is more thrashy black metal side of things, but very frantic and unique. This would be for fans of bands like Absu. It just got that thrashy black metal goodness. It's fucking great. Like start to finish, this is a thrasher of a black metal album. It just rips. When I first saw the album cover, I thought this was going to be like a death metal record. It kind of reminds me of like Cattle Decapitation or something, just with the album cover, but that is not what it sounds like at all. This is thrashy black metal that is just in your face, ripping speeds, killer stuff. Thanatotherion, probably mispronouncing that too. All right, up next in 6th, I'm going with Crypt Sermon and their new album, The Stygian Rose. So this is some epic doom metal from the USA. I've been a big fan of this band for a long time. This time around, while they're still retaining that epic doom core, they have brought in a lot more of like a traditional heavy metal influence as well, but it just blends in seamlessly. It still sounds like epic doom, but they've just combining all these different influences, and it really works. This is just epic doom done right. Definitely the best doom record of the month, in my opinion. And yeah, just a solid band with a solid album that you definitely should be listening to. Now we're into the top 5, my 5 favorite albums from the month of June. I'm going to give you a second to try to guess. I'm just going to take a sip of water because my throat's a little dry, and then I'm going to get into it. All right. In 5th place, I'm going with Aetheria Conscientia with their album The Blossoming. So this is some progressive avant-garde black metal from France. This is really like tripped out black metal. It's got these jazzy psychedelic moments with like saxophone and synths. And this is just really unique and weird, but in a good way. Like if you like your black metal that's more like off the beaten path, not just straight ahead black metal, that takes some chances, does some weird things, then look no further than this album. This will take you on a journey. A very strange album for sure, but it's very engaging and it's going to hold your attention, and it does some different things, keeps you on your toes, and that's what I like. And it's a really well done album, gorgeous album art as well. Aetheria Conscientia. Up next in 4th, let's switch it up once again with some traditional heavy metal with Portrait and their new album, The Host. So this is just throwback style heavy metal, major King Diamond and Merciful Fate vibes going on here for sure. But it's not just honing in on that one influence. Like I will say it's not as heavily King Diamond and Merciful Fate inspired as say a band like Attic, but it still has a lot of similarities to that. Like I said, they kind of go some different directions here as well, but you're still going to get those like moments that really remind you of King Diamond just with the high-pitched vocals. But you got a song like From the Urn, go check out that music video. And if you're not into that song, you're not going to like the album. But if you've never heard them before, just go give that a listen. The riffs on this album are top-notch, musicianship all around, pretty solid. Just, yeah, a good throwback style heavy metal album. That's why it's in 4th place. Up next in 3rd, I'm going with Fellwarden and their album Legend Forged in Defiance. This is another one-man band, a ton of those this month. The man behind this band is actually one of the guys that plays in Kvaen. So this is, they're from the UK. This is some epic atmospheric black metal with these folky touches. Epic really being the key word here. Like this still sounds a little bit like Kvaen, of course, with him being in both bands. But I'd even say brings in some like Forefather influence as well, just with like the epicness and the clean vocals that are thrown in there as well. But this is just an epic black metal album. I dig this one a lot. Probably my favorite black metal album of the month. I know it's only in 3rd place. My top 2 are not black metal albums this month, which is a shocker, even to myself. But yeah, for my favorite black metal of June was definitely Fellwarden. But that leaves 2 more albums. This was really a toss-up for me for which one to put second, which one to put first. This could change over time. Like I said, these are just very temporary rankings for the sake of doing this video and having a little bit of fun. But as I spend more time with these, this order could change. Even stuff that's way down this list could rise right up. But I digress. I'm getting way off track again. Let's go. In second place, Ulcerate with Cutting the Throat of God. This is the 7th full length by these guys. They're from New Zealand. This is technical death metal, more like on the avant-garde style of things. This just sucks you in with the atmosphere. Everything is perfect about this album. Like the drumming combined with the guitar, like the way that these musicians kind of play off each other, and just the way they write songs. Like it's a match made in heaven. They were supposed to be in this band together. Like the drumming aligning with these riffs, it just works out perfectly. Maybe the vocals aren't like the best death metal vocals I've ever heard. That's the one knock, I guess, but that's kind of the same on all their albums. It's not that they're bad by any stretch, but the musicianship here and the riff writing and song constructions just suck you in and pull you in, and this is just a fantastic goddamn album. This is easily going to go down as one of the best death metal albums of the year, in my opinion at least. I'm sure you're going to be seeing this on my year-end list. It's just that good of an album. If you haven't checked it out, give it a listen. It's got their unique signature style that I'm sure you're used to by now. Obviously, this is a pretty well-known band. But, yeah, one of my favorite death metal albums of the year for sure, and one of my favorite albums of the month of June. And that just leaves one. My favorite album for the month of June is 7 Spires with their new album, A Fortress Called Home. So this is a hard band to describe, and this is maybe a little bit different than some music that I typically talk about on the channel. This is symphonic metal. I don't mention too many symphonic metal bands on this channel because it's not typically a genre that I spend a lot of time in. But 7 Spires is on a different level altogether. They're not just simply a symphonic metal band. They're bringing in so many different influences, and it's just amazing stuff. It's got a base in like symphonic power metal, but then it's going to branch off into progressive metal, even doom metal, melodic death metal, and even some black metal as well. It just runs the gamut of all styles, which doesn't sound like it would work on paper, but they make it work. They've really made a unique style that's all their own. Their vocalist, Adrienne Kvaen, she is like phenomenal. She is like a chameleon almost, going with these low vocals and then black metal rasps, and then her clean vocals are just beautiful as well. This is such an emotional journey. It's just a harrowing experience. How they combine all these different influences so seamlessly is beyond me. If you've never heard them before, think like Dimmu Borgir meets Flesh God Apocalypse meets Camelot. And then her clean vocals will kind of remind me of like Darkmoor, at least the early era, or Fairyland. But yeah, they have just been building a very impressive discography, and this one is no exception. These songs are stuck in my head more than any other album this month, and that's why I had to put it in #1. I can't get these songs out of my head. They are so goddamn catchy. And it changes from these heavy tracks to then these soothing tracks. You got a song like Almost Town, which is possibly even my favorite song on the album. And it's just a gorgeous song with a catchy-ass chorus. I know this style of music may not be for everyone, but I goddamn love this album. I love this band. And that's why it's in #1. It's just so many hooks. It just draws me in. I can't get this album out of my head. That's why it's my favorite one for the month of June. So anyways, these are just my thoughts and opinions as usual. I would love to get your picks down below because I am sure that I missed some. And you can look forward to some more videos in the near future. So until next time, Hammerheart Metal Reviews out.